Hi guys, Tempest here. Yet another FireWater Format match review ahead of us. This time we're reviewing Wolfbark Open 14 finals match that took place in October of 2024. This was my second FireWater tournament I participated in, and after winning the first one with Geargia, I had to prove myself by trying to win a second one with the same deck. Actually, I only changed one side deck card from the deck I played the previous tournament. This tournament only had 13 players, but among them were Celsius, Icarus, Bendubus, Lee Murphy. In top 4, we managed to somehow beat Icarus again with his spellbooks, and now we're up against WagaMuffin and his Dark World. Let's get to the game. We are playing Geargia with some Trap Tricks Mermailios. WagaMuffin already beat us in round 3, but with some luck we still managed to be the only player with a 3-2 score to top. So we get to start with a rather good hand. Rather than bluffing an armor, we get our +1 going with Mermail, who gets us bottomless, which is very good against Dark World. We set the other 3 back row as well, and pass. WagaMuffin also drew good with Trade-in, Field Spell, Drag Down, along with Tour Guide. Actually, he drew a lot better even than we did. He will probably be summon Tour Guide first, this is correct. And yeah, we should use Fiendish Chain, because usually Fiendish is only used to stop his attacking monsters. But with this, we can at least stop some effect from going off. Also, if he doesn't have anything else, we will actually be able to OTK. We would make double Gigant, Mermail, and Acid Golem, and that would be more than 8,000 points of damage. But for sure, WagaMuffin won't pass just yet. He digs deeper with Trade-in first. Yeah, had he done this before, he could have MST'd our Fiendish Chain. But his sequence was correct nonetheless, and he'll still able to use MST on something else for sure. Probably now Field Spell. And yeah, he activated Field Spell, and we don't really want to make any incorrect reads here. So we probably won't use Mind Crush yet for Malefic Dragon. We played against WagaMuffin before, and we know he doesn't activate his Field Spell unless he has to activate its effect. So it wasn't activated because he wants to activate another one over it. Otherwise he would just set it, or because he wants to use drag down, he would then once again set it. But there could still be the option of him wanting to activate gates in order to actually use its effect by banishing Grapha. That's why we don't want to miss with Mind Crush. But yeah, Malefic Stardust really... Okay, we can bottomless him, so we'll see. He hits Geargia Gear. And yeah, this MST really does telegraph incoming Malefic Stardust Dragon. We'll see if we'll use Mind Crush on the resolution. So we have bottomless. That's why we probably didn't use Mind Crush yet. But now Beige comes down as well, which means Grapha will also be summoned. He also discards our Extender, which sucks for us. And he immediately summons Grapha. It would be better to attack one of Gianos rather, and in main phase 2 summon Grapha. But he decides to rather push for some damage, which surely isn't the correct play here. Yeah, we off of drag down, we got another normal summon, which isn't great for us, but MST is. We'll make Gigant first. Add Accelerator from deck. We'll make Arc. It's for sure better to make Arc rather than something like Zenmains or Acid Golem, because MST also can come handy if he'll try to attack with his field spell boost. Note that Ragna Zero is not legal in FireWater format, otherwise we just make her. So Giano for Accelerator, we summon another Accelerator and make previously mentioned Arc. We consume Grapha. Now we could actually kill Berge with Mind Crush, which we do. He's the only one that doesn't get an additional effect being discarded by your opponent's card effects. That's why we used it. But unfortunately, we see this tour guide, which is a really good top deck he got. We will now clear both. Also, any other play, just like summoning Arc with two Gianos and setting armor, isn't that good because boosted Beige isn't strong enough to clear armor. So we couldn't do the battle phase MST play. We'll see what he top decks. Oh, Torrential Tribute, another clutch top deck. Tour guide will summon Bro most likely, so he'll have his third tour guide in deck. And he summons Leviathan Dragon, a very strong option against Geargia, now that we already summoned Silent Honor Arc. He clears Gigant, of course, who floats into Giano. And it's probably wise to MST his new set, since we'll most likely be making our second arc in this following turn. We top deck Mind Crush, which is a dead throw in this game state. So we'll now most likely make second arc. Okay. We decide to set armor and wait for one turn. Actually, it's not a bad play, but if we were to attack with two arcs, there's very few top decks that can save him. One of them being Last Tour Guide for defense position Zenmains, and the other Malefic Stardust, for example. And he top decks Snow now. He summons her rather than use his field spell to get another draw. That's because he will... Yeah, this... Oh, he can do that later as well. He removes Grapha, and we get to float for MK2. He doesn't use Leviathan's effect, which I would have used for sure. Now in Mephisto, he will use Snow, and he draws Mirror Forest. Wow. What a string of perfect top decks for WagaMuffin. And oddly, Grapha gets added to hand. We top deck another dead card, that being Geargia Gear. Really unfortunate. We'll probably add our last accelerator with armor. Probably here it would be best to just, to make Exiton. in main phase 2 rather. Yes, that actually Mind Crush would get us to 4 cards, so I don't know if it was necessary to attack. But yeah, almost the only top deck that he could have top decked that prevents this play is Mirror Force. We could have just missed with Mind Crush, discard one of these, but I suppose we didn't want to discard MK2. That way we'd have 4 cards against his 5. But now Mirror Force puts us in a really losing position. And now we want to dig for Needle Ceiling and make our Geargia gear live again, rather than sit on something like Zen Maze. In any case, we're probably not winning this game anymore. We'll see what Emerald gets us. Mind Control, another horrible draw in this scenario, and we pass. WagaMuffin will now probably destroy some of our back row with Grapha. And he top decks Warning even. The best top deck in his deck for our Geargia gear. Just incredible. He'll destroy the last of our monsters. We'll activate Geargia gear in end phase. So here we could actually do something with this top decked Needle Ceiling, since he doesn't have any Dark Worlds. We could make Zen Maze or Gigant, but he has Warning, so I suppose it's over just now. He attacks and we scoop. Yeah, I think we both played a bit weirdly. It could be possible we didn't actually know we played 2 arcs when that was the proper play. But that also seems weird because we did check our extra deck a couple of times. So yeah, we'll start again. Geargia Gear, Arsenal, Overworked, MST and Crow. This should be a winning hand. We'll make the most straightforward play and get to armor set all 4 and pass. WagaMuffin also opened very good. He'll start by using dealings, discarding Snow. We discard Fiendish Chain since it's of less value than side-decked Crow. Snow adds Grapha, which is correct, trade in for Grapha, and he draws Morphing Jar. I don't like it that much because it's a too easily telegraphed card. He'll probably set 4 and Morphing Jar alongside. Oh, he doesn't set Morphing Jar, interestingly. Okay, now we don't actually have any Geargianos, so we could wait with Geargia Gear. And I actually agree with that. Torrential Tribute is the card we fear the most here. And I also dislike blind MSTing against 4 back row. It's probably best to just take it a bit slower and go for another Arsenal, as we did. We could go into Alucard and test the waters a bit as well, but just summoning Arsenal and testing the waters as well with 2 armors is certainly best. We also have Needle Ceiling, which works great with armors. WagaMuffin doesn't use his bottomless here. And now he's on 5k life points. We'll go for another armor, set boat and pass with 2 crows in hand as hand traps. WagaMuffin decides to test his luck with Dark World dealings rather than just setting Morphing Jar. He doesn't get a Dark World monster, which will tell us he has some unusable cards in hand. We'll probably discard the Geargia gear because it'll only be able to activate in after 2 whole turns, and we'd actually like to go into Giano before that. So he has to blind MST here. And will now make his Malefic Stardust push along with one of the viruses he already has. He probably would have actually used Torrential Tribute on our normal summon Geargia Arsenal before, but we can't be too sure exactly. So at least we know he doesn't have Torrential. Yeah, pardon. We could have MST'd these gates, of course, before Stardust came down. So I'm a bit worried that not seeing his Malefic Stardust summon will actually lose us the game for the second time in a row. We should have for sure MST'd immediately, but we did not. So Stardust destroys one of our armors, who gets us to Accelerator. And now Deck Devastation Virus will nuke everything we have. We still don't use Geargia Gear, which is the correct thing to do. He lets us flip our armor. We add another Accelerator, which we could have summoned now. But we first revive Arsenal with MK2. And he'll most likely use Bottomless because otherwise Arsenal is the only one who can survive this Deck Devastation virus. And now rather than summoning at least one Accelerator, we use Geargia Gear, which is really unfortunate because now he'll use Deck Devastation virus for 8. And none of our Accelerators will float because they're not on the field. We should have at least summoned one, most likely. We'll at least use both our crows on the Grapha and Snow. So his WagaMuffin's sequencing was either 5000 IQ or straight up lucky, because he could have used, actually should have used this Deck Devastation virus at least a couple of plays sooner. He would be left with Bottomless still intact. Also, had we summoned at least one Accelerator in between, we would float into stuff. Actually, I don't see a reason why we didn't summon Accelerators before, but probably we just decided to play around Torrential and not Deck Devastation virus. We now pass with not much to top deck. And WagaMuffin top deck's Tour Guide, which would have been a very, very strong top deck had we not had Overworked. He summons Bro, and will have to show everything to WagaMuffin, which is horrendous. Now we'll use Overworked on the summon of Bro. Bottomless is a good draw here because he already has gates. We said it. Bro on top deck, one of the best top decks in this scenario, because if we MST gates as Chainlink 2, he won't be able to use, we won't be able to use Bottomless because Bro won't have enough attack. Otherwise, if he is to summon Bro, will bottomless him, so that's a good card to have drawn. We did still decide to use MST. And now he chooses to summon him. We cannot use bottomless. It really looks like WagaMuffin knows each our play and card we have. And now we finally top deck a very good card, Mermail, which is actually still live due to siding in Trap Hole, if I remember correctly. Yes. Now WagaMuffin is the one who has very few top decks that can do anything. He draws Blackhorn, and Mermail will drop him to 3200. And also we top deck Call of the Haunted, another great save. Field spell for WagaMuffin, he'll pass again. We could have used the Call of the Haunted in end phase for armor. And we could use it now to attack for game, but I suppose we're playing around something like Mirror Force, which lost us the previous game. Also, we could crash into Torrential Tribute, so it's not that good to use Call of the Haunted. Also, summoning Accelerator would be an option, who at least floats. But in any case, we'll steer one Mermail attack from winning, so summoning Accelerator doesn't do anything with his life points. And he scoops. He could have actually waited for us to maybe make something like Arc, so he could have used his Horn, but yeah, we would just attack with Mermail for sure, not making unnecessary plays. Game 3. WagaMuffin opens with his rank 3 play as the only actual play he has. He makes Zen Mains, which is great for us because Zen Mains cannot attack or set monsters in fear of them being armor. Summoning Leviathan, who also immediately detaches, was for sure the correct play here. Very slow hand for us, which is very stressful going against Dark World, who are often just one card from getting their deck going. At least we have triple back row, even if some of the worst our deck has, that being Fiendish Chain. At least the 3 back row is more than he has back row removal at this time. End phase MST, which was the most dead of our back row at this point. Dark Hole for WagaMuffin is a very strong card. With us having set armor, he first Night Beams. Or Fiendish Chain. Now, if he has another one, he'd clear both of our back rows, so we could actually chain both Fiendish Chains for his Zen Maze. But I think it's better to risk it and just leave this Fiendish Chain die. He now Dark Holes. This means that Zen Maze would also clear this back row. But we decide to let it go. Also here, I think it was unnecessary to use Night Beam first. This and also not activating Fiendish Chain is a mistake from our behalf as well. We wanted to have Fiendish Chain chain to Zen Mace in attack position for one turn, but we cannot even clear it with our hand. Plus, he has 2 unknown cards. This was a misplay. He now uses Drag Down. I wouldn't have it if I was WagaMuffin because it's not that urgent to dig for Dark World cards. And this means also he'll go -1 here. He discards armor. Also, it gives us another potential good card, and we actually do draw it, Gear. He now attacks with Zenmains and will use Fiendish Chain, but this Zenmains could have just died had we used Fiendish Chain in response to Dark Hole. I don't know what we were thinking. With top deck Warning, a very good top deck, of course. It seems the stars are aligning for us as well. Giano will resummon Armor, who sets itself, and we also set both of our back row. Since both of our guys will most likely survive, next turn we'll have two rank 3s, two rank 4s and one rank 3, ignoring the set bottomless trap hole. WagaMuffin top decks Tour Guide, which he wants to keep, but at least it makes his allure life if he wants to use it. Now he'll banish Malefic for sure. Night Beam for Gear, a great hit for him. And he makes Leviathan. Yeah, going for Alucard here would be the correct play, probably. But WagaMuffin doesn't play one, oddly. Actually, between the two, we're happy he hit Gear. And also, we let him thin his deck a bit more by summoning something with Tour Guide. And also, we want to remove his rank 3 threats, one of them being exactly this Leviathan. So we will rather warning this Leviathan so it won't be bothering us in case he top decks his last Tour Guide. He puts Zenmains to defense. Arsenal for our turn. Not good, not terrible, some might say. We are still probably playing around Torrential. But getting Giano MK2 should be considered here. We would then summon MK2, Arsenal from hand, or Armor from graveyard, then make Alucard, who would get banished by this trap hole. We would then just set both armors or make Gigant. Rather, we add Accelerator, which means the correct play here is to summon Arsenal, then Giano, then and Accelerator, so our Gigant will float, but we don't do that as well. And now Gigant will get banished without floating. And now Arsenal will go get another armor, and we put MK2 to defense. Our opponent really can't top deck anything, not even Tour Guide will do enough, because he doesn't play Alucard. If he had Alucard, he would just almost win here. So another great top deck from WagaMuffin. But yeah, he'll have to make Giga Brilliant, the only card that can out this armor. He clears armor. And we'll add the MK2, of course. Overworked is a great top deck here. And we'll just resummon armor, make Zenmain set armor, set overworked. This also means this overworked means we can play it slow and not push yet. A Night Beam would actually be a somewhat bad draw for us. But it's still best just to make Zenmains and armor nonetheless. And not even Dark Hole would do much. He draws a Field Spell, which is of no use to him at this time. He boosts once more, and now we'll clear his both monsters. Trap hole is actually not a bad draw. We now have 6,800 damage, which isn't worth presenting if it's not lethal. And with 0 armors in deck, we just add accelerator, make gigant, re-add armor, and push for 4,900. We'll set trap hole, reset armor, and Dark World dealings. And that's for WagaMuffin, that's a game. Some good plays, some weird and also bad ones as well. I'd say this is a game worth analyzing for possible top decks and optimal plays. Not much to say that we didn't already cover. With this, we won our second Wolfbark Open with Geargia. I think I made a very good build for what was being played in FireWater before our arrival. And it might actually be the definitive Geargia build for FireWater meta. Apart from that, not much to add. Have a nice one and enjoy.